real conversations, not with Paul, but with my child, no more than 5 minutes ago. I asked her why there was a stick. And this isn't like a small stick, like a little twig. This is like, those pretzel log things? Like we all ate as a kid?
Yeah.
Think of one of those maybe twice as thick and like 18, 24 inches long. It's like, what is this? It's like, what is this doing in the house? And she goes, I want to cut it inside. I was like, no. Like, you brought this from outside. She wanted to cut it in. I was like,
I can't remember what stupid thing I did this morning, but my wife was like, you really amuse yourself, don't you? I just had nothing to say to that. Like, well, yeah,
like,
actually.
What goes on up here is just a circus. And sometimes
it's like, right, it's the Homer Simpson thing where it's like the monkey doing, it's just like a monkey hitting a cymbal.
Windows updated, yay!
Browsers, woo! Yeah.
Speaking of browsers, Microsoft is now pushing Edge as the gaming browser, Paul Thurrott.
I don't get it.
Didn't Opera try to do this too? But they don't have a gaming service.
They have a specific gaming browser, I think.
Yeah.
So here's why I don't get it. If you're running Windows, you're going to use the Xbox app.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not running Windows, you're not using Edge. So what market are they trying to reach here? It just doesn't make any sense. Look,
tantalizing point.
Additional features in browsers, especially, but I don't know.
Fuels the speculation that Edge OS is coming, Paul.
Does it?
I don't know. I mean, there's a calculator in Edge now, isn't there? And
we looked at Windows 11 and we said, we took away a lot of functionality, but we thought we could do more. And we said, why don't we base a new OS on Edge? We'll make it look like Windows, but it'll just run browser apps. It'll be like Windows RT, but it'll be for like browser apps.
They call it Edge X.
Chromium OS. Oh wait, there is a Chromium OS. I don't know.
Chromium OS X Edge OS.
OS X Edge R2. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I have actually been using Edge lately again, just to try to wrap my head around it. I actually go back and forth with different browsers. I on a kind of an emotional level, I wish Firefox was better. I'd like to support this company and its product, but I every time I go to I use it on an iPad. For some reason, it works really well on the iPad for me, but on PCs, I can't deal with it. It's little things and things I need all the time. Like when I post Windows Weekly every week, I use the developer tools to grab the image out of the directory that it's in, and that's not in Firefox. People have tried to explain to me how I can use it otherwise, and I just don't. And it's just like you run into blockers, and you just kind of like, whatever. The performance is not great, But Edge it's okay. You can kind of turn things off for the most part. It's a little busy, but I also use a lot of different computers. So if I get this thing set up here on here, and it's okay, it works fine. And then I go to a different browser. I have to go do it all again, and it's like we can't remember this. Like, remember that was the thing?
Edge on everything now. I mean, Edge on my PCs, on my phone, I'm still whatever Safari. You got to go with the Apple default, but. I mean, it's whatever. I mean, I'm in the same opinion. I would use Firefox. The problem with Firefox is nothing to do with Firefox. The problem is that they are going up. So you take we'll just say the three largest tech companies. You've got Apple, Google, and Microsoft. I know Facebook is in there somewhere and whatever.
It's not in the top three, but yeah.
But either way, you're going against the largest. Two of them have already said, like, Chrome OS is it. Chrome is it. And Apple's doing its own thing on its own OS. Then you have Firefox over here, like, use us. Like, you're fighting.
It's that that old thing where it's like the Firefox icon, Chrome. Mm-hmm. I think the last one was IE, but it's like the four of them, and it's like we can do this, and at the end it's like the IE one's like browsers, like that's what Chrome has kind of turned into. Look, we can't do anything about Apple. Apple's always going to go their own route. Yep. That's what they do, and they're big enough to do it, so whatever. But Mozilla's struggling, and unfortunately, they're also not being very successful. Like their usage share is falling dramatically, pretty much month over month. So Safari is like 50% of mobile browsing. Like,
because
you can chart their own course all they want.
Yep.
Mozilla does not have that luxury, and I appreciate the ideological stance, but as I argued, a lot of people were freaking out when Microsoft went to Chromium. that's not where you make the stand, Although I guess my argument really has come back to bite me in the ass, because I kind of said at the time that the place where you differentiate is in the user experience, and they're certainly doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe more than I wanted. But the real point to me of using Chromium as Microsoft was to take this thing that's 100% compatible with everything, offers the best performance, et cetera, and strip out all the Google stuff, which theoretically should only make it run faster, Obviously, they replaced some of the Google stuff with the Microsoft stuff. So you can sign up with a Microsoft account instead of a Google account. Your Microsoft is tracking you less effectively than Google is tracking you. I guess that's a little bit of a bonus, et cetera. But now they're just piling on photos. I really feel like we need a browser feature ballot box where the first time you sign in, right, you can pick and choose. Windows does it when it comes up. Well, sort of. I mean, not with features anymore, but they, is this? Are you going to use this for gaming? Are you going to use it for this? They give you like a privacy dashboard, which is nonsense. It doesn't do anything. But you get some choices, is the point. And I don't know. I think that's the right approach. But I guess everyone's just using Chrome, so who cares what we think?
Speaking of tracking, there's an interesting thing sort of brewing in the EU related to GDPR. We'll see where this goes. But it feels like they're moving towards the fact that using something like Google Analytics is considered a GDPR violation. If that goes through, like if they come out and say, well, that's a.
But how would they fix it? Would fixing it involve? God, I don't know how you would do this, but
I don't know either.
Having Google Analytics data centers in every region or country or whatever, something like that. That gets kind of sloppy, but
I don't know.
I don't know.
That'll be massive if that happens. Right. If they have to rework because Google Analytics is the baseline of the industry. That's I don't care what anyone says. Google Analytics, like if you go to a company that says, "Hey, what's your web traffic? Send us your analytics," they mean Google Analytics. That's what they want.
Oh yeah, no. If it was an archaeological dig, it would be the lowest level of the internet.
Yeah,
right. It's the sewer, as we call it.
The only other real interesting thing is that this is the last full week of the Microsoft fiscal year, so we'll find out next couple of weeks if there's any deck chairs that are going to be moving around inside the org.
There definitely will be. I mean, whether they're big or small or announced or, we find out through little internal things. Like you said this the other day, this is the time. So I do expect to see something there.
It is the season. It's also when everybody takes vacation. So July is almost always the slowest month.
It's a good time for the axe to fall.
Yeah, it's the slowest month of the year. It's not that nothing happens in July. That's why they have their sales conference in July.
Yeah, why not? I mean, no, that's fine. I mean, who doesn't want to go to Vegas in July? It's or Atlanta,
Or Atlanta, yeah.
Those are great places to be in the middle of the summer.
Yeah. So either way, we'll look and see if Microsoft does anything. I always enjoy this time of the year because you can find out which orgs were kind of running or which teams were running behind when you find out like whatever launches on Tuesday of this week. They had a deadline of 6:30 and
right. It's like a cop who has has to write a certain number of tickets by the end of the month, and it's the 28th, and he's like, "Damn it, I got to start pulling people over."
Yeah, it's going to launch an alpha super secret exclusive beta, but we launched it. We told the world, Paul Thurrott.
We said we were going to do it in the first half. We did.
So, anyways, that's kind of it. I don't know. The weekend here,
my wife is leaving me next week to go to Mexico with my daughter, so that will be strange. but I'll be here.
Going to be a lot of Call of Duty in this house. They dropped Season 4, which comes with a new small map, and it's like 40-person battle royale. It's a good map all throughout.
Oh, really?
It is. I quite like it.
What's the engine they're using in Warzone now? Is this like the Modern Warfare engine, basically?
It's still the Modern Warfare 2019 engine.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's still
is that going to change with the next one? Is that changing?
I believe so. Yes, that's when they're making. It was rumored that they were going to do it.
Modern Warfare. Engine.
This year, but anyways, it's Modern War. I think they're going to call it Warzone 2, which is whatever.
Sure.
Because
actually, what's it called? The Overwatch is doing the same thing.
Yeah,
Overwatch is going to Overwatch 2, and they're actually going to kind of retire the original game, which is like that's a little weird, but.
So either way, that one's supposed to come with a new engine and a whole bunch of other stuff. So we'll see. But I don't think that's launching until like December or something like that.
Did they ever do that thing? Remember, I think it was when Warzone was first launching. Whatever the original map was,
Verdansk.
Okay. At the there was this kind of promise, or there were leaks that this was going to happen, where if you think about a lot of the classic Modern Warfare maps that had kind of redone for the new version, they were going to drop those little multiplayer maps in the broader Warzone map. So if you ran around the island enough, you would actually run into a location where you're like, oh, I know this place.
Yeah.
Did that actually happen?
Oh, yeah. There's some of them. Cool. There's far fewer on Caldera. I think Shipments. Okay. I know Shipments on there. But yeah, Verdansk had tons of them.
Yeah.
So those were always.
I think that's cool. That's neat.
So hopefully, I don't know if they'll do that for the next version.
That's the metaverse I want, Brad. It's just a place that's all familiar Call of Duty maps going back in time.
Just full of
Call
violence.
of Duty 2. Yeah.